live.
Oh, I look insane.
What are you up to? I do know what you're up to is because you went to the gym, but then you uploaded something to your Instagram story, and I don't know if it's just my internet, but like it won't load what it
I have
is, and
taken it.
I'm just
I
like
took it
left.
down, so that's why.
Oh,
Cause
oh. See, okay,
it uploaded weird.
well, no, okay, so because today I was also having issues with Instagram stories uploading. Like my last thing uploaded 2
well,
times.
let's tell
for
the
no
people
reason.
what we're waiting on, and that is JD.
Yes, we're waiting on JD. I'm sitting here with bated breath. I have my operations center. This is not an ad for JD Ops Center, but I mean, like, I can see him working in the field, and I'm waiting for him to text me to be like, it's good or it's not good. So I'm just like, I'm waiting to see when he parks it, because if he parks it, he'll be texting me he's not going to be running. But if he keeps going and the text comes in, I already know that means it will be running.
Wow, the technology is crazy. But tell us, how far are you in planting? What's left? How's the rain?
Okay, corn's finished. We have 11.9% of our soybeans left. Dad's looking at me. I made banana bread. That's for you. It's a banana bread muffin. It's not my best work, but it's not my worst work. It's my second time making a banana bread. But anyway, dad's here. We're at the shop. But yeah, we have 11.9% of our soybeans left. We got rained out. There wasn't even anything on the forecast, and then it starts downpouring, and then it's hailing. And like I had texted Tanner. I was like, the ground's not totally fit, but we're gonna work it today and tomorrow. Let it set, plant it on Friday before we get the rain. And then we had this huge pop-up storm. We got 8 tents at my place and my parents' place, and then where that farm that we have left to do is, they only got half an inch, but that ground is our wettest ground. It lays very wet. It's not tiled out. So I'm not super optimistic, but what we were kind of thinking is, if it's not ideal and it's not fit, who cares? Because we're going to be rained out all week with all these other storms in the forecast. So it'd be better to just like get it in the ground than to just keep waiting, which, I mean, who knows? We're kind of saying the same battle on our spraying, because we're past the point of when we wanted to be spraying. But the guy who's doing our spraying has gotten behind, and he was trying to get his own stuff planted, and we have not had a window for getting the corn sprayed. So today I was texting back and forth with him, debating on like, do I want you to cut ruts in my field and get the weeds killed, or do we want to wait and have the weeds be out of control and the corn be too tall, and then have to come up with a new game plan? So that's where we're sitting. But I need like a day to get what we have to get planted. But I think we might just have all night tonight to try.
Wow.
If it is fit.
Wow.
Which is not ideal in any way, but when we were planting our corn, there was one day, I started working ground the night before. I worked till midnight. JD started planting at 7 a.m. We worked till 2:30 in the morning. We would have just kept going, but we ran out of seed. So then I got up at 5 the next day, and God bless Tina, my seed dealer. I texted her at 5:30 in the morning, praying that she would not wake up to that text message. Like I just wanted it to be one of the first things that she saw. But I didn't want to wake her up with it, which luckily, like, she didn't. She called me at like 6:30 and said that like she had slept through it, which was like, because like all I wanted was like, I just wanted her to know first thing. Like I was just gonna be sitting there waiting for seed, but I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was an appropriate time. She's also like one of those people that gets up super early and works out, and it's like,
Yeah.
So I don't know. It probably not.
I know. I've had to message my
I should have been
my
more. I should have
boss
been
a few
more
times,
ahead.
and I
Yeah.
usually wait until 7. Felt appropriate, but sometimes, like when I was like really sick, I would like message them at 5, and I'm like, I really hope I'm not bothering you.
Well, yeah, and it was like I had 2.5 hours of sleep, so it was like I just wanted her to call whenever she could, because I was just gonna like lay there sleeping, but also like I couldn't sleep, so
Yeah.
it was whatever.
Whatever. Nice. Well,
Yeah.
I hope that you can get that last 11.8% in.
Yeah, I hope so too. I'm so ready to be done.
I'm sure. I feel like you've been planting for
Just
months.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Well, we had one field we planted the first time on April 28th and we finished it on May 20th. So almost a full month difference between the first half of the field and the second
That's
half of the field, which
wild.
is just, yeah. Well, and it's like with corn, I just like made a TikTok for this of like a summary of the season. I only needed 6 days. It only took us 6 days to get corn in. Now there were like 6 very long days, but like that just goes to show like we did not have a 6 day window all in one stretch this whole.
Yeah. You have a fly
This whole 2
buzzing around
months.
you.
I know, I'm seeing it. It's fly season, baby.
That's so funny.
It's because I leave the doors open too much. Like,
Well, it's summertime
to-
sadness in New York. It's 80 degrees outside right now, which is
Mhm.
so
And
nice.
so but I need to know. So you joined a gym.
I did. So I thought about it for a really long time. I was like looking at all my different options, and I decided on a place called New York Sports Club, New York Sports Center, Sports Club. I think it's New York Sports Club. They're they're a chain, and there's also like DC Sports Club or Sports Center, and I get a discount through my employer, but they
Okay.
offer like a ton of classes every single day that are free with the membership. So tomorrow I'm doing a step class, which is like what when you like step on, like you literally like step up and step down. I always think about like we did gymnastics at the YMCA, and they had these step classes, and I'm doing it with my friend Eleanor. She also got a gym membership.
It feels very like 80s.
I know. I'm like, I feel it's gonna be like us and a bunch of like ladies in their like 70s, but I'm excited. They also do cycling classes, and they do Pilates, both mat Pilates and on a reformer.
Oh wow.
And there's one like it's like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 4 blocks from my apartment. And also there's another one up next to Eleanor's apartment, so like
And you can use any of them.
Yeah. They're all over the
Ooh, that's
they're not all over their city. It's not as common as like a Crunch Fitness, but they're around.
yeah. Oh man, that's the thing I miss the most about like when I was in college. My roommate Kylie taught group fitness classes,
Yeah.
and so I would like take her class. Like I love someone else
Me
telling
too.
me how to work
And
out.
I like it because it's a very good mix of, we've talked about this before, about like the pressure of the people in the gym. And like sometimes some gyms don't have enough pressure. And then in my opinion, some gyms it's like too much bodybuilders everywhere. They all look insane. They're all like pumping 90-pound
Yeah.
dumbbells. And then sometimes it's like, okay, but I want a little more, I want it to feel like a gym. And this feels
Yeah.
like a good mix of like, there's some older folks that are like just on the stationary bike. There's like a bunch of gals my age, you know, in the free weights, but also like on the cardio machines. And I don't know, it felt good. It didn't feel like too much of one of those things. For instance, I feel like if I went to an Equinox every day, I would be really insecure. Equinox is,
Yeah, I've only heard
it's
of
just
them.
like hot people in great shape, continuing to be
Well,
hot
is
in
it-
great shape. Also, I think it's
I-
$250
yeah.
a month, which is crazy. So also
yeah,
it's
because
really rich people.
I remember watching. Yeah, I remember watching someone do a breakdown because they're like, my Equinox membership's actually pretty good. Like if you shower there every day and use the high end like shampoo and conditioner, if you brush your teeth, they're using their toothpaste. Like basically, like if you live at Equinox, yeah, it's a good deal.
Yeah.
because you're not paying rent for your
Well, and it's
apartment.
like this gym, it has a sauna, it has a steam room, like it has the
See, there's like nothing
it
like
has
that.
the
like
amenities
close to
that
me.
I want,
Oh.
but I don't. It's nowhere near as expensive as Equinox, and the clientele feels more diverse, in my opinion. I've actually never worked out in an Equinox. These are all my perceptions, but Equinox owns SoulCycle, so I imagine it's similar energy to SoulCycle.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I didn't know they were the same.
Yeah, so
That makes sense.
loving this new gym life for me. There's no cancellation fee, so we'll see if I stick with
See,
it.
that sounds so good. Yeah, Yeah, there's nothing on that level remote. Like, there's no place with a sauna or like,
Well, and yeah, and they
I
have
think I would have
massage
to go an
chairs.
hour away.
Now the one that's like right next to me is
Oh.
smaller, so there's only like 2 Pilates reformer machines. But I mean,
Mhm.
there's still like, I don't know, 10 ellipticals, 10 treadmills. Like there's
Have you done a Pilates with reformer
I've
thing?
done a class, yeah.
Okay. I've never done one, but I do like everyone that does it is like it's life changing, but I've never
I did solid core,
participated.
which is like um boutique fitness, but for Pilates, and it
Hmm.
was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. Just like right out the
Is
gate.
that the one where they say like, "Oh, I have the
Yeah,
shakes" or
you're
something?
like you want to get your
Okay.
body into that, which is like not a place I want my body to be in. Um,
Quivering.
yeah, and like you're not supposed to do it unless you can hold like a 2-minute plank before you go. Like you have to, they
Oh,
like tell
that's
you that like
interesting. So they're like, "This is where the bar is."
yeah, they tell you like if you can't do a 2-minute plank, you probably won't be able to get through the class. Um, I know somebody at
That's
work that
good
left
to know.
mid class one time because it was just like too much.
Do they have like a easy like? Do they have like a okay? But once a week we do a class for the
I
people
don't
who aren't
know.
in shape
And
to
I
get
and I
you to that
literally only
spot.
did it twice. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm sure if I kept up with it, I would be ripped Larry the Lobster. But
Ripped to the gods.
but the thing with boutique fitness is just so expensive. So Soul Cycle in New York is like $32 a class. Well, my gym membership is 65.
Oh yeah.
So if I
Mhm.
do
See, 65 even sounds like expensive to me.
no, it's expensive, but as long as I in
Mhm.
my head like do at least 4 cycling classes and then like go to the gym on my leisure, like I'll be saving money compared to like doing Soul Cycle.
Yeah. Have I told you about the time that I decided to quit the gym?
No, but I know that you quit the gym because you have your own gym at home.
Yeah. No, it was like every single time, like it's just like typical gym culture, and like there was a point when it was so many high school kids. Like on their phones constantly and like not putting their and I don't care if you're on a, I mean I'm always listening to
Yeah.
music and like I'm scrolling on my phone,
But if you're like,
if you're sitting at the bench,
yeah, if you're like taking
yeah,
up
because like
important
at that
space.
gym it was like there's one squat rack, there's one
Yeah.
bench, like, and if someone's chilling on it and I can't do anything, and then like someone left 45-pound plates on every piece of equipment, and like there's signs everywhere that's like wash down your station, put your things away, and I'm like, I know if you're not putting the weights away, you're probably also not washing down the station you're
Yeah.
at. And like I think it was like there was like I think it was 2 45-pound plates on both sides of this leg press machine, and I took them off, and it was so like I'm not super like I can get the 45-pound weights,
Yeah.
and I'm not super strong, but like I also know like the little old ladies
Yeah.
that work out in there would just be like, oh well, I guess I can't use
Yeah.
this today if like
That's really annoying.
it felt so annoying. And like I was on the elliptical at the gym pricing out equipment. Like at one point I was like, do I just buy a gym? At what point, because I have like consistently worked out from the time that we started gymnastics when I was
Yeah.
5. Like I was like, okay, and I think my gym membership then was like $25 a month. And I was like, okay, if it's $25 a month and I've been working out for X many years, and I know I'm going to continue to work out for the rest of my life, at what point does it make more sense to just buy the gym equipment?
Yeah.
And it became so evident. And gym equipment is so expensive.
Yeah.
Like you can buy a whole bunch of used gym equipment on like Facebook Marketplace and like piece things together. I'm gonna be transparent. Tanner was like going the bougie route. We got like all Rogue Fitness
Yeah.
stuff. But we pieced it together over time. Like first we got the squat and bench rack. It's like a 2-in-1.
Yeah.
And we got like, I already had some free weights, but we kind of
Well,
like
and also it's
stocked
2
it up.
people that work out very regularly. It's like
It's
you,
2 people
and
that work out
knew
regular.
That, like this is your lifestyle. I feel like a lot of times people
Yes.
buy gym equipment when they're not like
Yeah.
already have
Yeah.
that lifestyle, and that's why it's on Facebook Marketplace.
Well, and it took me 25 minutes to get to the gym.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay, round that up to 30 by the time that you like get in your car and all those things.
and,
I was like, okay, so it's an
gas,
hour a day of travel. And it's like, sometimes like you get to the gym and you're like, I can work out for 20 minutes. That's all the energy I have. And then you're like, I just wasted so much time getting
Yeah.
here that like, I'm just going to like I don't know.
Well,
It,
even
like,
like today, we
I-
just like popped in and I did it cardio for 30 minutes and then I did like a dumb 5-minute arm exercise. And I was like, I feel fine leaving because I don't know. Like, I'm going to get my money's worth other ways. And it was like 5 seconds from my house.
yeah, exactly. Like, and I will say, like, I think I work out, like, right now in planting season, I've like fallen off the wagon completely, which is fine. I always do that. But like, I do awesome, like, I'll start doing some squats or something, and then like Tanner will be like, oh, can you take care of whatever? And then I'll be like, oh, well, I'm gonna go do that thing, and then I never come back to the workout. But then in my head I'm like, I already worked out today, even though I didn't
Yeah, there is
like finish what I was
there
doing.
is a certain joie de vivre, like when you're at the gym.
Yeah, because
you're,
I'm like
at the gym.
Yeah,
And you're like, you know what?
exactly.
I'm here,
And I
so
always
I need to do my gym
yeah.
activities.
Yeah, and I always just like roll downstairs like in my pajamas, and so it's like I don't go into gym mode.
No, I can completely understand that. I've tried to do like yoga in my apartment, and then I'm like halfway through it, and I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I doing dog for dog? I'm gonna lay in my bed.
Yeah, I know.
And also the
Tanner,
nice
Tanner
thing,
started doing like the Apple Fitness stuff in the basement. So like, you know, it's not boutique
Yeah.
fitness, but it's someone telling you what
the
to do.
nice thing is
in your own
also
home.
like because the gym is, it's more than 60 for other people. It's, I don't know it might be like 85. It's like the regular monthly price. It's so high that everyone does clean their equipment, and like
Well,
there's
and
just
if
everything's
I
like
feel
really
like if
well
it's a
kept and
if it's-
maintained.
yeah, if it's an environment of like, hey, you need, and it, like, do they have like worker people monitoring?
Yeah.
Like this place too, they didn't have anyone monitoring all the time, and so it was like there was no one to hold people. But I could tell you who puts their weights away and who didn't put their weights away. It's like just simple observing. But then like, you know, being the owner, it's like you probably don't want to like yell at the people because you don't want them to, you don't want to risk them leaving or anything. But like, I'm a rule follower. I'm just a rule follower, and but then it makes me mad when other people aren't following the rules. I know it's like an immense privilege to be able to like have a house that has enough room for equipment and stuff. But oh my goodness, it was like the best decision we ever made.
Yeah, you guys have like really done something with the basement. That basement used to be so scary, everybody. So back in the day when our parents are still alive, or when our grandparents were alive, there was like, was there a bar down there?
Yeah, it was like a bar and then a pool table.
Yeah, it was cool. I remember hanging out there as a kid being like, this is cool. The back room was always kind of scary. They have like saloon style doors that like lead into like where the laundry is, but like the main area, so it's just like a long room. It's like a long rectangle, and it was always cool. And then when our parents passed away, our grandparents, oh my god, sorry Dad, when our grandparents passed away, the house was like rented out with other people, and if somehow in that transition the basement got really scary to me. And then when Zoe moved in,
well,
it was
I always
really
thought
scary.
it was a little scary. Yeah, I always thought it was a little scary. Just like it was an unfinished basement, but with things down there. But then
I did.
Like,
it has
there
like
was
cement floors and a piano, and very low lighting.
Very low lighting, cold, damp. There's spiders everywhere. Yeah. There still are kind of spiders everywhere, and it floods too.
Anyways, not great. But then I feel like now way less scared because you guys have like really kind of made it more. Did you put turf down there?
Yeah, Tana put turf down there for golfing. It's in like that sounds so. It's just like a little square where he made a little. What do you? I want to say pitching wedge, like a little putt area thing.
You have an entire putt golf. No, not a big room.
No, it's just like he bought this like foam and he put little holes in it and he like practices. I don't know what you call that when you're just close to the hole.
Putting.
I don't know. He golfs down there.
I know. I'm like really making the room sound like it's insane. It's like it's just like literally maybe the size of my little studio. But anyways, it just feels less scary.
Yeah. So okay, at this gym, I need to know more because like I
had a traumatizing
when I was in college,
signing up for it, but
like when I was in college, people weren't wearing sports bras out in the world. Like everyone was wearing like shirts, you know. And then when I graduated college, like that's when, at least like on Instagram and stuff, like you would see people just wearing sports bras out in the world and also at the gym. And like around here, people still wear shirts. But I just didn't know if like in New York, I want to know if people are wearing shirts. Or not.
I think it's a mix.
Well, it's also hard to tell because it's like I wear crop tank tops, which is like at what point is it a bra?
This is exactly what I wore to the gym today, and it is a tank top, crop top, drop top. Mm-hmm. And I can see his dad talking to you.
No, I'm getting 28% fertilizer delivered. I'm just the guy is backing up for the third time.
Anyways, so today,
not to roast him.
Today at the gym, I wore this. Eleanor went with me. She was wearing a regular t-shirt. There was only 2 other women there. One was an older woman wearing a full tank top, but like athletic tank top. Mm-hmm. Oh wait, there was 3 other women. Another woman was like super hot. She was just in a sports bra. She was like clearly a gym girly.
Okay.
And then an older woman who was wearing jeans and an Hermes belt. Okay. And then I was like, this is so weird. It was like all of us in a room, and I was like, this is a fun group we have together. So
that's
so
Dad would
say a mix.
Dad would be the person that would work out in jeans. I have to.
And I think, I mean, depending on what you're doing, jeans are totally fine. Like, I was more passing judgment on the Hermes belt than the jeans.
Mm-hmm. You're just like, you have to flex on us at the gym.
I was like, oh, so maybe you should be at Equinox.
She wanted everyone to know. She's like, I could be at Equinox right now, but instead I bought this belt.
I know.
And that was the choice I made.
She was also like in full glam, and she was like probably in her 60s. I was mostly watching her my entire elliptical.
Yeah. No, I know. Like I have on a few occasions, like I would be like when I went to the other gym, it was like if I happened to be in that town for other stuff, I'm like, oh, I could have gone to the gym right now. And it's like I'm wearing my work clothes, and I'm like, do I just go in like this? But then it doesn't feel like a workout.
I know, it doesn't.
Like it doesn't count if you're not.
So wearing. I did have a low key crazy sign up experience. So, and I already told Zoe this, but I'll tell the story very quickly. I'd already done all my research. I'd been in communication with their like corporate teams, correspondents. So like I knew my discount, I knew all my benefits. I went in, I was like very prepared, and the sign up went smooth. And then they do a complimentary body scan. And I was with Eleanor, and not to tell Eleanor's business, but she has a history of, eating disorder. And I also just like don't care. I just like don't want to know anything about myself. Mm-hmm. And so we were both like, no, we're not interested. And then they're like, oh no, we can schedule it right now. Like this is really important to set your goals, to make sure you stay on track. Like you need to know everything about yourself. And then I was like, look, history of disordered eating. We're staying away from numbers here in this group chat, and
it's simply none of our business.
And then he said, I understand you can do the test though without numbers. And we were like, we don't want to do it, dude. Like it was like the 3rd time. I was like, I just gave you $65 and you're gonna like hound me to do a complimentary body scan, and it tells you like your water weight and like just like information that I know will only send me spiraling and not actually help me in any way. And like I'm here for the vibes. I'm here so I can like not be stuck in my apartment every day. Yeah. I'm not here to like become the next great ninja warrior.
Oh yeah. No. Like I'm kind of like I'm against this whole like monitoring everything lifestyle that we've chosen to have, like but also like I'm so intrigued by the Oura Ring, and I'm like I'd love to know that data. Yeah. But like I'm also like I know for me I don't need that data because like I don't weigh myself, and like I started going to the doctor when I needed to get on my ADHD drugs, and I decided I made the decision that like I will look at the number on the scale this time just because I wanted to prove it to myself that it didn't matter. Yeah. Like I would just see that because I wanted to like desensitize myself, or whatever, and just like I'll just look. And I could immediately I was like, oh, I hope it's lower the next time I jumped on the scale, like 3 weeks later, I mentally was like, oh, I hope it's lower. And I was like, that's a good test of like I have
You
this
know
data,
what?
but like
Yeah.
there's no reason to be doing it because like your weight fluctuates every single time, and it's like my brain, I could never get past the mindset of like the number, no matter what it is, I'll want it to be lower.
Yeah. Well, and I'm like I'm really only interested in like my heart rate and my adult asthma I have, and like that's really the only stats I need to know about myself as a person.
Yeah.
Don't need to know my IQ. Don't need to know my body weight.
Yeah.
It was fine because then like we never have to see this person again. Like it didn't ruin the experience. But I was also just like, are you making commission off of this? Like this is a complimentary body scan. I'm not losing money. You shouldn't be losing money.
Yeah.
And I
I
think
wonder if for them it's like if you get the first one, you pay for the second
that's
one,
what
so
I'm
they're trying to get you
is,
into
like,
the first
you
so
do
that you
your
can
first
then
one,
see what your
you
progress
set up
is.
your goals, and then you do like check-ins, and like I'm not interested in all that.
Yeah.
So it was fine, but it was also just like, why are you pushing this on us? Especially
Yeah,
after we were
weird.
like, we have a very valid reason and have said no twice.
Yeah. Or just like when you say no the first time, like
And
just
it's like, hey, we're not interested.
yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah.
so that was a little strange, but it is like the culture we're in. Everyone is just like monitoring everything. Speaking of, because I had pneumonia twice in 4 months, have to go see a lung specialist. I went yesterday. They stick you in a plastic box and you breathe into a tube for 10 minutes. And I go back for my results in a couple of weeks. But because they didn't see any blockages, which is great because that would have been like a blockage in my lung pathway, like a tumor or something. They didn't see anything like that. So I'm still thinking I have adult asthma. Because even just like today, while I was ellipticaling, not that fast, honestly pretty slow, my heart rate got over 200 beats per minute, which is like definitely not normal.
Yeah, I don't know the ranges. What's normal?
Like 100
like-
to 150.
Oh, okay.
Maybe 175.
Or you just out of shame. I start shaming you on the podcast.
I mean,
roasting
and
you.
that's part of the reason I'm going to the gym. And is
No,
like,
well, no, because like you walk to work. Like,
yeah,
you're
no,
like
I don't think I'm like
you're a-
crazy out of shape,
Yeah.
but I am like, do my lungs suck because I don't breathe enough? I don't know. So we'll see.
Oh my gosh, no! Tanner read that book about breath, and immediately when I was telling him that you were sick, he's like, "Is she a mouth breather?" I was like,
No, I'm not.
"I don't know."
And when you do the test, they put a clip on your nose. So I really wasn't.
Okay.
It is interesting to know like my blood. I think they're mostly just concerned about like my blood oxygen levels, and I don't know. We'll see. I'm going to the doctor.
Interesting. Go to
I
the
think-
doctor. I have another one of those really boring, annoying stories about like me. Like you know how I
I just gave a
about
very
the
long,
Wi-Fi?
boring story about me, so I guess it's your turn.
You know how did I say anything about my credit card fraud situation?
No.
I have made it my personal destiny to get my money refunded. I stayed at this hotel in December of last year. Checked in, stayed at the hotel, left the hotel, went on with my merry life. I was doing my credit card statement in January, and I was like, I got 2 hotel charges for both in Orlando, Florida. That's interesting because I only stayed in one hotel. And so I was like, oh, it's fraud. Called my credit card, got my credit card canceled, got a new credit card. They're like, we'll reimburse you, babe. And I was like, cool. See
Wait,
you
so
later.
like
Thanks,
someone's
Chase.
how's it fraud?
That's what I thought. I thought I was frauded in that way. I thought someone got my credit card information somehow.
Oh, and then like because
and
it was a
just
different hotel.
in Florida, and it was a different hotel.
Oh, I thought it was
like
like the
interesting.
hotel charged
Never
you
heard-
twice. I understand.
We'll just wait for the story to keep unfolding. So I was refunded my money. I was like, cool. Went on my merry life. In April, I see the charges back on. I was like, that's interesting. You threw that back on there? So I called Chase. I'm like, hey, what's up, babe? Hey, why did? And they're like, we can send you to security, but this was read with a chip. Therefore, you bought it. Therefore, we're not refunding you. And I was like, well, that's really interesting because now that you have accused me of thefting you or whatever, I'm going to.
It's not my
I'm gonna write it.
mission.
It's now my mission. I'm going to spend days, weeks, months fighting this to the death. And so they were like, okay, interesting. Well, you have to call the hotel and argue with them. And I was like, cool, give me the hotel's number. I'll call them. And they gave me a phone number. Wrong phone number. It was the other hotel. And so then I call back again. And they give me the Orlando Port Authority, which is not a hotel, and they were like, this is the wrong number. I call back to Chase again. And every single time I have to get transferred
like 100 times.
4 different people till I get to the right person who then can give me that information. So then I get on the phone and the Chase employee says, oh, I can't give you that information because there's a whole bunch of residence inns. I wouldn't know which one it is. And I said, well, I said this and I shouldn't have said it. I said, well, how the fuck am I supposed to know? Because I never stayed there. So how am I supposed to contact this hotel if you don't know how I'm supposed to contact them? Because I've never been there.
Yeah.
And
so
then
you.
I was like, and then after I said that, I was like, sorry, I've lost my cool. I've been working on this for 3 hours today. Can I please talk to your manager? Transferred me. That person was like, oh, I can give you the phone number. And I was like, cool. Can we fire that other employee? No. I was like, okay,
great.
interesting.
So what do we do with the last guy?
So she gives me the hotel number.
Okay.
I call the hotel. They're like, we have no idea what you're talking about, but we'll look into it. And I was like, okay, cool. Whoever Marriott is, they transfer me, and they're like, they put me on hold. They talk to the people. They're like, you're supposed to email this person, and tell them the situation, and they'll refund you. Emailed those people. That person, never heard back from them. Emailed them again last week, saying like, hey, I need a follow-up, babe. Nothing. So then I call the hotel directly, and I'm like, and at some point when I was on the phone with the hotel, I was talking to the person, and they're like, well, I'm getting the same address for these 2 hotels. So it's a Courtyard Inn and a Residence Inn. It's just like, depending on the room size, it's like under a different hotel, ? So I did piece together that the 2 hotels was the same hotel. And so then I was like, okay, we're at least getting somewhere, because they rang up on my credit card statement as 2 different hotel names. But I was looking at the address of the hotel I stayed in. I was swiping through the pictures, and I'd stayed at Courtyard Inn. But if you look at one of the pictures, it says Residence Inn on like the building itself. And I was like, well, wait a second, what is going on? So then I get a hold of the hotel again, and they're like, we don't have any record of your first purchase. And I was like, well, that's really interesting, because like that's the date that I booked the hotel. I showed up, you guys sent me to my room. There was not any like, oh, you don't have a booking. You know what I mean? Because if you showed up and there wasn't anything there, they would have addressed that in that moment. But basically what happened is, because the party that had sent me out to Florida sent me a link to like book your hotel here, and it was through like a lodging.com, like an Expedia type thing. So I had prepaid the room apparently, but then they put me in one of the different styles of rooms, because I was under a like block of people for like people staying there, and so they charged me twice for whatever reason. And so I was like, cool, can you refund me? And the hotel was like, no, because you booked it through these people. You're going to have to get it refunded from them. And I was like, but I stayed at your hotel, and you charged me twice. So couldn't
Just
you
do like the second
refund
charge?
me the second one? Like who's to say which one's the right one? You know what I mean? And Diego, who I talked to, was lovely, and he kept being like, I'm so sorry, like but I can't do anything, like there's nothing we can do. And I was like, cool, like who owns this hotel chain? Like I'll go to their house.
Cool, Diego, let me talk to your boss.
No, but I was so chill with Diego. I was like, listen, like I just need you to understand that like I have been battling this since January. I'm prepared to buy this hotel.
I'm prepared to go to court.
I'm prepared to buy this hotel so I can refund myself the money and then sell the
I'm going to
hotel
buy
again.
this hotel, Diego, and then I'm going to fire every single one.
Yeah. But then I finally so he was like, you have to do this lodging. So I called the lodging people. No, first I emailed them on the 17th, and I was like, hey, can I get a refund for this? And they're like, no, you stayed there, freak. I was like, okay, I did stay there. I booked the hotel room, and then I stayed there, but then for some reason I got charged twice. But apparently it's not on Marriott Residence Inn Courtyard Orlando. No,
I know. I feel like lodging is like gonna say no.
Yeah. So lodging,
because they're gonna be like, no, we heard you.
They said no. They said no via email, and then the guy was like, call them. And so I called them. I was like, hey, you guys already said no, but I need you guys to say yes. And the guy was like, I'll look into it. He then called the hotel. For some reason him and Diego had to speak, and then
you're like, ask for Diego.
Yeah, and then he was like, I think we can refund you the money. I was like, yes. Yes. And so supposedly within the next 3 to 5 days, I'll get confirmation that I can get refunded. And then in 10 to 15 days, I will be refunded for this. And then of course, like, I'm like, yes, I made $750. But like, no, that's just taking me back to where I should have been to begin with.
No, you made that money. That's free money.
Oh, that's free money, baby.
Wow. That's a lot. That sucks. I hate that. Speaking of refunds, memberships are non-refundable due to the nature of charitable giving, and I had a lot of people at an event on Monday, and some people didn't have a good time, and they kept coming up to me and they're like, I want a refund, and I'm like, I got my iPhone, baby, what do you want me to do? Like, yeah, it was just like me like this, and I was like, memberships are non-refundable due to the nature of charitable giving.
Yeah, well, and it's like, and I totally understand all of these people being like, I can't do anything. And then like Chase, they kept saying like it was a chip read thing. And that's where they got it twisted. And everyone got it twisted because everyone was confused because it wasn't until I cracked the code that these two hotels were the same place. When I started seeing that come together, you know that meme of the person doing math? I was like,
You're connecting the red lines.
yeah, but she was like,
good thing you took a picture of the outside of
the but she was like, it was made with a chip reader, and so basically, had I tried to get reimbursed for the first one for the larger amount, I had just the one that was the larger amount, I knew the date that I had booked it, I had a receipt for it, and that was like where I was staying with him, that was like the address that pulled up. That's what that was what I thought the hotel was called the whole time. And so I just assumed it was the second one, but the second one is when they read my chip. Had I questioned the first charge, they would have been like, oh, it was made on this third party website, maybe check into that. But I feel like I almost feel like I needed to call Chase back to be like, hey, I just need you guys to know the situation, just so you know that like I wasn't trying
to
fraud, but I got it figured out on my own.
I've been frauded.
But like, and I understand it's not Chase's fault, but it's also not my fault. And it's also none of the other people's. It is 100% the hotel's fault. But for some reason, they're taking 0% responsibility because like Diego was just like, that's not on us. That's a third party. But I'm like, yeah, but I checked in, and no one ever said anything of like, you don't have a, because that was the thing. They were like, we don't have any proof of you staying here. And I was like, I have the receipt.
You're like,
I have the pictures of me in the hotel room.
In the room.
I was there, and but like they're like, yeah, we only have the one charge. And I was like, I can't. Why? Like, had I, it was on them. It was 100% on them because
I don't trust. I'm not that I don't trust. I'm just highly skeptical of like third party bookings.
Oh, and I never do, and I only did it because that was like the link that I was sent. Yeah, and I don't know why they sent it that way. That was weird. Because like, I feel like I don't get it.
There's so many like New York attraction third party people where it's like you buy this one pass and you can go to 3 places, and it's like cheaper, and like it is true, it's cheaper, but you have to be so on top of it, and like sometimes you still have to book time tickets for things, and if you don't have a time ticket, you can't use your pass, and just like, I don't know. I just feel like you have to be an incredibly organized person.
Yeah.
To be able to do that.
Yeah. Well, and then like with this, it's like it did pay for the credit. It paid for the hotel like in advance, and like if it's prepaid, I just.
I'm confused why you walked into the hotel and they charged you.
Well, I don't understand why. It was when I checked out. No, it was the day I walked into the hotel, but like they charged me, and they pulled up my thing. Like that's when there should have been a red flag.
Well, no, because you can make a reservation like when you show up, but if you've already put your credit card in some other location, that should have.
Yeah, but like what I was trying to explain to Diego was, he was like, "Oh, did you go in the wrong door?" And I was like, "There's different doors."
Diego,
and he's like,
"Now this is a facility situation."
Diego didn't know. Diego was confused. Or no, I think it was the Marriott person. Diego worked there. It was the Marriott person that was like, "Oh, you went to the wrong location." I'm like, I went to the right location, because had I walked in and been like, "Hey, I'm here. This is my reservation,"
and it was the wrong, they would have said, "You don't have a spot."
They would have said, "Honey, you don't have anything. We don't have anything for you. There's no room at the inn."
Oh my goodness!
But no, they said here you go. Go up to your, again, because like it was with this, I'll just say it was with the John Deere block. So the John Deere had gave me goodies and treats and shit. And so like there was stuff in my room for me.
You're like, this is the right
And
place.
so had I walked into the room and they would have been like, we don't have you here. Like it was so silliness. But it was like, I was a mystery solver. I was a sleuth. I was a detective. I was persistent and I wasn't going to let it go.
Good.
Now I'm gonna be looking with a fine-tooth comb every time I book a hotel anywhere. I'm gonna show up and I'm like, but is this reservation the reservation that I said it was?
Okay, the last thing, sister friend, Zoe's coming to New York.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Not for
Party
like
of the
literally
century.
what, 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah. Well, it's just funny. I was talking to Kaylee yesterday. I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to New York. Like, it's just fun having something like fun to look forward to. She's like, oh, I love something fun to look forward to. I'm like, I'm getting married in 3 months. Like, that should be the fun to look forward to. It's a different kind of fun to look forward to. But
so excited.
this
for
will be
you
my
to
only
come
like
here.
summer trip.
I know. I actually really fun things are happening in my life because Eleanor is getting married and I'm a bridesmaid. So her dress is sitting in my closet right now, which is really crazy.
Ooh.
Because she doesn't trust her fiance to not look at it. And yeah, just like very exciting. Eleanor wedding.
Are you making sure that Martinold is staying away from that closet?
Yeah, I mean it's in a giant.
Or is it in like a
garment
bulletproof bag?
Yeah, it's in a giant garment bag.
Yeah, because I kept telling Mom that like my dress needed to be in the garment bag in the closet in the room with the door closed, and every time
I think it's in
like
the
cat's
garment
sleeping
bag.
in the dress.
There's no way the
No,
cat's
it is, but I got like it's like a see-through like it's not a. I don't know. My cat has ruined a lot of my clothes.
It's not a see-through. It's white.
Not see-through, but no, like paper.
Okay,
It's not
not like a big. Yeah. Okay, I believe.
It's like perforated. It's like yeah. So my cat has snagged a lot of my stuff. So I'm just like maybe.
Yeah.
The cats scare me around clothes, but
speaking of,
yeah,
Mom's
that's
cat's
so
really
exciting.
sick.
I know.
So
She
sad.
took it to the vet, but she was saying that was good. But then Dad was saying today that it
the
wasn't
vet.
good.
Yeah, the vet couldn't find anything wrong with her. She's just not eating, and she's just still choosing to like just not eat. And now it's getting to the point where she's like losing weight, and it's sad.
That is sad. Has Cody been texting you pictures of his flowers?
No, Cody has flowers.
Oh, yeah.
He did
he's
text me, but he texted me about commencement.
Oh, he didn't text me about commencement?
Yeah, he sent me a picture from commencement.
Oh, nice. No, I have peonies here, and he has peonies, and he sent me a picture of his peonies, and his are like fully bloomed, and for some reason mine aren't. But like around town, everywhere I see peonies, they're all fully bloomed and bushed out, and I don't know why mine are behind. I don't know if there's probably different varieties.
What's a peony look like?
They're like they're very full, thick, so many flowers in like in their like the bushes, and then like they kind of like fall out towards the ground. Like they're beautiful for like 1 week out of the year.
They are pretty.
But yeah, I don't know.
I
started
really
my
into
herb garden,
tulips
and it's
and hydrangeas.
Yeah.
Those are my favorite. You started an herb garden?
yeah, but it's dying. It's dying so much. They look worse now that I own them than when I bought them. They've just I don't know. They were sitting outside in like full sun at like 90 degrees, and I was like dousing them in water once a week when I remembered that I had them. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing with herbs, and I did literally zero research. I just on a whim when Mom was buying some stuff for her garden, I was like, I'll pick up these things.
Full-fledged hobby now of her backyard garden thing. Okay, well, sister friend, I hope you have a wonderful Memorial Day. I hope you have a hot dog.
I don't think I'll have a hot dog. Tanner will be having lots of hot dogs. He is in Florida right now for a bachelor party.
Florida.
We had Josh stay with us all week. But yeah, JD said, he said, I'm running. It's great in places and sticky in others, which is, I would say, a 100% normal for this farm. He said, do you want me to bring the seed tin over to start planting? He said, I don't know. Needs to dry a bit. Depends on if you want to play the roulette with the forecast. I said, okay, I'm getting 28% now. He said, it's definitely going to rain 2 inches for sure. So I might go planting.
Well, I hope you have fun. I hope you have a lovely Memorial Day. And that is all. If you're listening on the YouTubes, subscribe, because we have like 60 listeners every single week and only 30 subscribers.
Ooh.
So the math is not mathing on that.
Interesting. The math is not mathing there.
So-
That's silly.
So subscribe or I hate you.
We'll bully you. We find every single person who's viewed the video and we're like,
Yeah.
why haven't you hit the
I'm tired. It's
subscribe
one button. First of all, it's literally free. What else is free in this state? Okay? Nothing. Okay. Well, sister friend, ta-ta.
Okay. Yeah, have a good weekend. Bye.